back to the third video in my Pride of the Orange Tree series, or the third week in our readathon. How exciting, we're over halfway. I am in a much better mood than I was last week because the essay has been finished and I now have many weeks before I even have to think about another one. How lovely. So, we are on the third section of Pride of the Orange Tree. I've read the first 60 or so pages in that section. I didn't use a bookmark, so we have no idea actually where I am. I think I'm on page 454. Let's see what I've tabbed so far. I don't think I have too much to say because there was a lot of information, wasn't it, about the different things. So we got a bit more insight into the pearl. There has been a lot of stories actually, haven't there, in these last few pages, and I feel like because they're so close together they must be linked somehow. Obviously there's clear links between the one Nicholas had and has discovered, because he's just discovered the location of the tree, and the one with Iad, she's just found the pearl that the tree thing talks about, and he's, you know, they'll be connecting somehow, I'm pretty sure, because she's gonna have to go on an adventure to see her. One thing is, I want to know what's in Tane's stomach, because that seems weird. That seems weird. So that needs to come, like, she hasn't had a chapter in ages and I've been waiting for that since page 12. It's been like 30 pages? 30 pages, 40 pages. It's been a lot of pages since then, 40 pages. So she needs to have a chapter soon so I can find out what they just cut her out of her stomach. What do we think? It's got to be something weird. I don't know what it is though. And there must be something to do with the Melancholy King, because I feel like the way that was pushed into the story was really weird. Like, Iad knew the story and she was just like, oh yes, perhaps you might tell it to me again because I've forgotten it or I haven't heard it in a long time. So then he told the story. So there must be something to do with that story, because that's a weird way to introduce a story. I said story way too many times. Okay, so I think a little kind of drawing of all the stories that kind of happened, or one thing that I kind of gleaned from it, is that the sun and the stars are what the sky is in the balance of the like the earth and the sun sky thing in that thing. So the sun is the PRIORY, because they keep saying how the sun burned within them and that she is fire, but I don't think it's fire as the rims are fire, or maybe it is, maybe they're a balance of the both and they provide the balance. No, I think she's the fire of the sun, so she's part of the sky, and then the dragons are the stars, so they have to work together to be the balance of the rims, because the rims are more powerful and they need to kind of realise that, and then to defeat them perhaps they have to work as a team. Teamwork is the dream work. So that's my little theory. Apart from that I don't have anything else tabbed, so I'll do a little bit more reading and I'll catch up with you in a bit. So I finished the pages for this week. I haven't really checked in that much throughout it just because I really struggled this week to think of anything to say, which sounds really bad since this is meant to be a very engaging readathon, but I just haven't been able to kind of focus fully on it this week, and maybe that's just because being inside a lot is surprisingly draining. But obviously with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, we're trying to avoid going outside as much as possible for all the good reasons that everybody's been talking about, so I won't get into it. But I just haven't been able to fully I just haven't been able to engage with it as much these past few days as I would have liked. There are just a few bits that I wanted to go over, so we'll do that. The first bit being that I was surprised at how brutal Nicholas was with the dragon. I did not expect him just to like rip the scale out and just take the blood forcefully. I think that was quite, I don't know, unexpected of his character. Like, I know he kind of showed signs of that when he blackmailed Tane at the midpoint, but I don't know, it just didn't seem to fit. Like, blackmailing and not really knowing anything's going to come of it, or not expecting anything to come of it, and then physically taking the dragon's scales are a bit different. But I suppose he doesn't worship the dragons at all, does he? He is mentish, so the dragons aren't royalty or godly to them, so maybe that's why he did it. But I just wouldn't have expected him to do that to anyone or anything. He just seems not wimpish, but not brutal in that way. Like, he seems quite passive and just a bit more tame, I suppose. So that was a shock. Don't know about anyone else. I didn't quite like it. I don't really like that side of his character, but maybe he has time to turn it around. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. I enjoyed how it kind of pieced together different storylines through the different, or it's starting to piece the different storylines together even though they're still separate. So we've got the kind of knowledge of what Tane is discovering about Neporo, I think is how you say it, and the other kind of empress. And then we've also got the knowledge of Iad that she had when she discovered the pearl in the dungeon burial place. So I enjoy how that's all coming together. Hopefully that'll come more, and obviously at the end of that section they were obviously getting the alliance between the East and the West, so hopefully they'll come together as well and kind of put their forces together, because obviously I think Iad and Tanya are connected now because they each possess one of the stones or the gems, and they obviously connected and they must work together to defeat the Nameless One. So that will be interesting. I hope that comes around, and I hope they all come together soon because we've got 200 pages left. So that was really interesting. What did we think of how all the kind of religions came together in the unveiling of the sorceress? So she is actually Sabran's kind of heritage, or the first ever queen. She actually looks like Sabran. That's why they all look alike, because I was thinking as her whole religion was getting kind of torn apart and disproved, it was odd that Sabran looked like all her past people, and I didn't know if that was just kind of thrown in there to make us think it was a whimsical religion or there was actually something to it, and it turns out there was, because the sorceress, what's her name? So the Lady of the Woods, or Caliba, let's go Caliba, was her great, possibly a lot more greats, grandmother, something like that. So that makes a little bit more sense why that is. It does seem to be very nicely all woven around. I think the way it kind of came together was a little bit clumsy. That might just be me. I think it was very coincidental that Meg just knew straight away that that was the place it was going to be, and then she managed to find it without any difficulty at all, even though it'd been years since she'd been there and it was all overgrown. And woods, I don't know, I don't spend a lot of time in the woods, but they're not that recognisable if you've only been there once. I don't know how she could have got back there, and then it just happened to be very coincidental, and like, I don't know, that was just me. I found it a little bit clumsy how it was put together. But do I like how it's all revealed? I'm not sure. So it seems like Caliba wants to take the throne for herself. She hasn't befriended the Rims because she wants to destroy them. She wants to use them and take power for herself. That's what it seems like to me. I could be wrong, let me know. But so she's definitely not a good person. I mean, she did kill Sabrine's unborn child, so definitely not a good person. But it does kind of make sense, I suppose. It ties it all neatly up together. I'm not sure how I feel about it though. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I suppose we'll find out more about what it all is as her involvement becomes more, because she has to be a lot more involved as she is like the White Rim and she has got the sword now. So we shall see. Maybe she'll turn good, or maybe she'll die. I feel like it have to be one or the other. Don't know why, but I do. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. I don't really have anything else to say. Sorry about that, but I just couldn't really think about it. I just was reading it and just going along with the story and not really delving too deeply into it. So let me know if you did have any more interesting thoughts about it. I'm sure you probably did. I'd be really interested to look at them and listen to them, as I do think it's interesting to know other people's thoughts, and it does shed a different light and more intrigue into the actual book and the reading process of it. So yes, so thank you for watching. I shall see you next week when we do our last section and we finish the book. It will be done this time next week. Exciting stuff.